In this episode of The Yarn, I chatted with Betsy Bird, who's an author, a librarian, and a children's literature blogger. And we talked a lot about the state of children's literature. We talked about her blog, A Fuse 8 Production, which has been one of the most, I guess, influential blogs in children's literacy history. I hope you enjoy listening and watching this conversation as much as I had having it with Betsy. I think there's a lot of great things for hopefully everyone. So thank you for tuning in. Let me know what you think. Betsy Bird, tell us, for people who don't know, who have been living under a tree for a very long time, what is a Fuse 8 production?
Well, a Fuse 8 production is a blog. They still exist on School Library Journal. And did you want to know why it's called a Fuse number 8 production?
I would love to.
Okay, it's named after a car part, which, as Leonard Marcus once told me, has nothing to do with children's books. He's right, it just sounded cool. When I got out of college, I had a 1989 Buick Century. I had no money, and my electrical system completely shut down on me. And I was like, oh, I'm going to have to go into huge debt just to repair it. Take it in, nicest electrician working in a car repair place in all time, pulls out fuse number 8 from my car and says, just pull this out. And, well, you won't have a horn or turn signal or radio, but if you plug it in while you're driving and then just pull it out every time you park, you'll be fine. And I was like, great. And then years later, my husband was trying to think of a production company name. And I was like, oh, why don't you call it a Fuse number 8 production? And he was like, no. And I said, fine. Then I will call something a Fuse number 8 production because that sounds cool. And so I did.
That's interesting. I always thought that you had A at the beginning because you wanted it to appear first alphabetically.
I'm not that smart. It just
because
sounds
that is why Travis's blog is 100 scope notes, because he wanted it to be on the top of all of the blog rolls back when those were a thing.
See, he's smarter than I am. I did not figure that out. I was just like, a Fuse number 8 production sounds much better to my ears than just Fuse number 8 production.
So did that blog start on School Library Journal?
No, it did not. It started on Blogger. Good old Blogger. I think yes. Blogger's still going on, yeah. I started on Blogger in 2004,
okay,
I want to say. And then in 2006, SLJ said, hey, want to be paid for the thing you do for free? And I said, yes, please. That sounds like a good idea. And they were scooping up a whole bunch of blogs at that time that already existed. I was one of them. No. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I'm still being recorded. Yeah, my little recording is still going just fine. Yeah. Oh, bye. Well, that's not good. Come back. It's cold and there are wolves.
Okay, we're back.
Okay, cool.
So I'm sure it recorded all of your answer because you were still recording. Okay.
Cool.
So you moved to SLJ and you've been there for, are you the longest current, like, do you have like the longest amount of time to still be blogging on SLJ?
I thought Travis was part of that first wave as well. I think we're the same. I'm pretty sure. Because I think he was in that first round of things that they did. I could be wrong, but that was my impression.
I feel like I remember when Travis joined, and I didn't know Travis until 2011.
But oh, okay. It's possible.
We'll fact check that.
Yeah, we'll fact check that. I don't know. I've been, since they began doing blogs. Yes, I have.
So you have been there the whole time they've done blogs?
The whole darn time, and for some reason, I'm still there.
You're still
I don't
there.
know why, but I'm happy. I'm happy to be there. Yeah.
What are your favorite types of posts to write?
Oh, I love doing reviews, but they take so long now. I look at my young, full of energy days where I did like one a day because I had no life. And I just marvel at, I can't, it can take me up to 2 weeks to get one done now. The energy is just not there, but I do enjoy doing them. Much more satisfying are like the weird posts. Like I just did the Scourge of Upside Down Knitting Needles, which is one of my favorites. Yes, where people have draw knitting needles like pointed like TV antenna to the sky, which looks great. Every great illustrator of the past did it, and it was all wrong. And yeah, all you have to do is Google search it. People, you can see how people knit. So I love calling that out. That's fun. Because it means nothing. It means literally nothing. No one gets hurt because who cares, man? And then I do like doing my 31 days, 31 lists,
Yep.
which is I do a different list every day of December of books that I really liked in the previous year. And I do like that. That's fun.
Has it gotten easier or harder? I know you said the time is trickier.
The time is trickier. I mean, I think it's gotten easier. I do a lot more interviews now. Kind of used to leave the interviews to 7 Impossible Things Before Breakfast. That was sort of Jules's area, and I didn't really feel it was something that I wanted to do as much. But then Jules stopped doing 7 Impossible Things Before Breakfast, and that kind of left a gap. And I find that for daily content, it's pretty. I just send off a bunch of questions to people on the weekends, and then they get me the answers, and then I just put them together for a post, and that's actually pretty easy. So yeah, a lot of my posts are pretty easy to do, but and certainly the 31 days, 31 list looks impressive. The most time they take is pretty much getting the images. Just finding the images, making the JPEGs, putting the JPEGs in, because the writing has been done throughout the year. I just have to edit that and make sure it makes sense and is spelled correctly and the grammar's right. But beyond that, they don't take that much time.
Do you enjoy it as much?
Oh yes, no, I love doing it. Well, because it reminds me. You love a book in March, and by the time December comes around, you're like, I really like this. What was it? Oh yeah, that book was great. So you kind of like rediscovering the books along with everybody who's reading the posts. That's great. I love that.
Do you have a favorite post ever? What pops into your head? Don't think about it. Just what popped into your head first.
Okay.
What popped in first?
What popped in my head was my most controversial post. So I don't know if that counts.
What is your most controversial post?
I would argue my most controversial post was when I got mad at the Amazon Vine program. Remember the Amazon Vine program? Oh, that was a whole thing. The Amazon Vine program was where like people were sent early copies of children's books or just any books, and then they could get their reviews on Amazon before everyone else. And so you'd have these like books that like, because I guess the publishers would pay more for this, you'd have like books that would end up with like 10 5-star reviews like on the day of publication. It was kind of a brilliant move. The problem was they were terrible books and they weren't good. And an author illustrator who shall remain nameless said, hey, could you do something on the Amazon Vine program? And I was like, sure, what could go wrong? And yeah, it turns out the Amazon Vine program had a very, very passionate fan base that if they heard that there was someone criticizing them, or anyway, turned as one and descended upon me. And that was unexpected. It was also, silly, which I kind of loved. So that was the first thing I thought of when you asked me that, which is kind of funny.
Do you enjoy the quarterly Newbery Caldecott post?
Oh, I do. You're right. Those are kind of my favorites. So I make 4 prediction lists of what will win the Newbery or the Caldecott. And then sometimes like a random one, like Batchelder.
Yeah.
Yes. And I do enjoy them. As with all prediction posts, they don't have any influence on anything, but they may have influence on what people's mock Caldecotts or mock Newberries might be. Because I know people just go out and they Google like, what's a mock Newbery? And then maybe they can see my posts that way. So that's cool. I do like doing those. They're often like, I'll even do like a thing with the first one being like, here's how many I got wrong last year. Here's how many I got wrong 2 years ago. So but I really enjoy them. They're fun. And I have learned I have to be careful because I do get people's hopes up, and that's sad.
Aww.
Because other people think they're going to win, and then they don't win, and they don't get that call, and I feel terrible for them. I'm like, I'm sorry, I would have given you the award, but that's just, I'm one person, and that's a committee, and they are completely different. All sorts of different rules there.
Do you have a prediction you're most proud of?
Oh, that's
Or
a
like that
really,
you
really
would
good
like
question.
brag, you would like brag about
Yes.
like the most.
I feel pretty good about last year's Caldecott winner. Chooch Helped is one of the rare cases where I didn't even put it on my final prediction list, but I put it on my fall prediction list. And according to them, mine was the only prediction list that book ever showed up on. So I feel very proud for that. There was one year where I got both the Newbery and the Caldecott prediction correct.
Okay.
But I would argue that that's because everyone got it correct. And it was the year of When You Reach Me and The Lion and the Mouse. And everybody got that right. So I don't know that I can take any personal pride in that one. But yeah, for Chooch Help, I am very proud that Chooch Help showed up on my fall prediction list.
Yeah.
And then I dropped it completely in the final. But hey, at least I got fall.
Do you think that, I guess this is a two-part question. Do you think there are favorites this year? Like if Vegas put money on it, like what would the favorites be? And then what
100%.
do you think is it's going to be?
So the Caldecott, I have talked to so many people, and like this will vaguely come up, and authors and illustrators and librarians and teachers and parents. Everyone says the same thing. It's fireworks.
Yes.
Fireworks.
Yep.
Yeah. Everyone. Like everyone. And this is very rare because usually there's like,
the watermelon page. I just
love the watermelon page, but also like this is a beautiful example of how the PDF did it dirty. Because the PDF doesn't show the gatefold. And I have a friend who was reviewing the book for a major publication, and he had only seen the PDF. And then he was in the office, and I was like, "Hey, check it out! Look at the cool gatefold!" And he was like, "Crap!" And he like had to run back to his desk and like write to the journal, be like, "Yep, hold on! I didn't know there was a gatefold."
Hold the press.
Hold the press. Even though he already loved it, but now he loved it more.
Yeah.
And it's just so good. It's like Papa, Please Get the Moon for Me, right? It's got such a great like awe-inspiring like aspect to it. They're due. Katya Chen has done books with Matthew Burgess before, but this one is like the book. So everyone across the board is like rah fireworks. I tried suggesting to someone, I was like, well, Our Lake is getting a lot of buzz. They're like, fireworks. So
fireworks.
Yeah, I think fireworks is as sure a thing as I've seen in a while.
Okay.
What could possibly go wrong? And then it doesn't even honor. This has happened many times where it doesn't even get an honor, and I'm like, and it was like some objection is like the watermelon seeds were actually odd numbered. They're always even numbered. Yeah, who knows what the committee will come up.
It's like the knitting needles, right? People are
like the knitting
as passionate about watermelon seeds as you are knitting needles.
Swear, there was a book that I thought was going to win the Newbery once, and I was told later that it may not have won because there was a hill in San Francisco in that book where there's not a hill, and I was like, but I get it. But
so what about Newbery?
Newbery's so hard. I thought a Teacher of Nomadland by Daniel Nairi. But now I'm hearing, and I can't say why, but I have heard conflicting reports on something in that book that I need to do my research on. For one thing, I got my hands back on that book. I thought it was a pretty sure thing. Its size, it's a handsome book. It's a quick, slick, handsome. It's got the heart. Oh my God, the writing quality. It's in a place we've never seen in an American children's book, which is World War II, Iran. I mean, it's good, but maybe there's a problem with it. So I'm not sure now. Now I'm kind of wavering. Now I'm kind of I don't know. I thought it was as sure as fireworks, and now I'm not so sure. So we'll see.
So those are the two big ones. Do you have a favorite award that's not those two that you're most excited maybe this year or always to see what is honored?
I always have such high hopes for the Cybert. And I feel like the Cybert, because there's just so much nonfiction, right? And we got one dinky, and technically a nonfiction book can win a Caldecott and it can win a Newbery. They don't tend to, but they can. But they have their own little award. We really should have a graphic novel award, ALA. But I do love the Cybert. I never quite understand why they choose what they do, because they don't separate by age range, so you can have everything from babies up to 14-year-olds on there. So you get some really high end stuff, and then you've got some really really simple stuff, and it's all mushed together. It must be a very difficult committee to be on. I don't know how it works, but I like the Cybert. I'm always curious what they're going to come up with.
Seems like Nicholas Day is becoming a Cybert. That's his like little. He could have a run there.
He's great. He's consistently great. Yeah, his picture books are great. His older nonfiction is amazing. Yeah, anything he writes, I am interested in.
So I guess in a recent episode of this podcast, you had a conversation with Travis Yonker, and you were talking about writing a book and thinking about it being good to read aloud. Are there any books that came out this year that you think are? And is that one of the list, right? Is that one of the 31 lists?
It is. One of my lists is good read alouds. Yeah.
So what are you thinking right now? As I sit in my 5th grade classroom, we end every single day with a read aloud picture book. Like, what is a book that? Because I'll share mine first. I think Don't Trust Fish is one of the most fun books to read aloud this year.
Boy,
it's pretty
brilliant.
It's
so nice when a book that good gets that much of attention. It's like, oh, good. Like, I know it's Dan Santat, but no American has heard of the author, and yet that book, so funny and so read aloud so well. I just absolutely love it. We've already talked about Fireworks, of course. That's got the whole like, oh my God. It's just
the gasp.
Boom, and the gasp effect. Yes, exactly. I mean, the awe that you can get from like a room of kids. Downpour is one that my coworker Brian uses with the kids all the time. It came out this year. It's an import. I don't have the author or illustrator's name in front of me at the moment, but Downpour has oh man, though, you gotta practice because it's got an onomatopoeia page that it's enormous. It's like Moby Dick length. It is so long, and you've got to be ready to do like the, you got to do like all the rain sounds. So practice beforehand. You can't go into Downpour cold. God help the poor storytime person who does. But if you practice it, I think you could kill with that book. I think it would do just amazing. And I really like Every Monday Mabel, which is a quieter one, but I feel like, I don't know. I feel like it's got tone, just beautiful tone to it. I don't know how.
It's magical.
It's magical. It's just, when the elements are there, it doesn't matter if it's a PDF or if it's a physical or anything. You just can feel how good the book is. And that's Mabel.
A special one.
Yeah.
The end of A Book of Maps for You is really special to read aloud because when they
I love that.
Get that, when they see like,
twist.
You read it again and you're like, oh, I should have known this was coming, but we don't know it's coming. It's just so sweet.
It's fueling you into thinking it's like, because kids have to learn different types of maps. And you're like, oh, good. A better book on different kinds of maps. I'm enjoying it. And then there's an emotional gut punch at the end. It comes out of like left field and you're like left reeling and you're like, it makes you like, rethink the entire book you've read before. You're absolutely right. That book's brilliant. Really fun. Yeah.
So let's spend some time talking about what I think is the wildest content in children's literature, which is 31 blog posts in 31 days. You say it's not so hard because you've done a lot of the writing throughout the year. It sounds like the hardest thing. So I have to know, how are all the lists the same every year? Do you change a couple?
No. They can't be the same because they change sometimes. So last year I had to get rid of my American history list because there was just nothing. There was like books on history, but for one thing, there was no Nathan Hale. And if there's no new Nathan Hale, I'm not as interested. Or maybe there was, but it was like super at the end. I don't know. And then there was just not much. And then for whatever reason, last year, we had a better crop of gross books. And I feel like sometimes we have sometimes we have good gross here, sometimes we don't. So it just depends on what's being published. For a while, I tried to do audiobooks because I do have very strident opinions on e-audio and which narrators do a great job and which narrators did not. I just listened to one today who mispronounced Nikes. And I'm still trying to figure out how you do that and how it got through. And I'm like, it's Nikes. It's not, everyone knows how to pronounce Nikes, but it was not. It was Nikes.
Nikes.
Never heard that before.
Nikes.
Yeah. So I've let that one kind of go. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of factors that work with that. God,
do we have anything new that you can share, or is it a secret? Like any new list, or do you not even know do you not even know all 31 lists yet?
I do. Because I've already made the, hey, it's tomorrow post. And when I did that, I realized I had to make the what every day would be.
Okay.
And it's changed over the years because like I used to do the holiday books like on Christmas. It made sense to me. And then I had people who were like, hey, I want to buy those before Christmas. Do it earlier in the month. So I do them early in the month now. So if people want to buy them, I don't think you're going to be able to get them in time, but good luck on that. Yeah. They are at least there earlier in the month and closer to Hanukkah and stuff like that. But no, the list is pretty much the same, but it has been moved around. I am doing American history again this year. We got a couple good American histories this year, including the wackiest Nathan Hale. Oh my goodness. I don't know how the man gets away with what he does, but have you read it? Have you read the one?
I actually have a 5th grade son who he read it. It's a green one, right?
Yeah, it's the green one with the Viking. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been really fun to have a kid in my house devouring them. Like he made us read Donner Dinner Party to him and my 2nd grade son. So Donner Dinner Party was bedtime reading. Yeah.
Yeah, Nathan Hale says that Donner Dinner Party is his girl book because that's the one where more girls come and are like, I love Donner, because it's true, because girls are all like, I want Titanic, I want like death. So Donner Dinner Party is perfect for that. But yeah, oh man, his latest one is, that's going on the gross list. I'll just say that. Okay. There's some gross stuff. It's terrifying, that book.
When would you say that you first do any work for this list? I'm going to guess a date. And let's see if it is before or after the date. I'm going to say that you already have thought about it for next year. So I'm going to say November 1st, 2025. Yeah. You've already thought of 2026 list.
Little bit. But here's the thing. So I'm getting the galleys, right? I'm getting the advanced readers copies. I'm getting the final copies for 2026. I refuse to look at them. I shoved them under my desk at work. You do not want to go under my desk at work. It is a horror show. But that's where they are all piled up under my desk. I refuse to look at them because I have to read as many 2025s to like until that list comes out. The poor day that the graphic novel list comes out. I'm just like trying to, because I can't do it. It used to be you could read all the graphic novels in a year. I can't do it anymore, man. There are just too many of them. And also my library has this list called the Blueberry List. That is an internal list, but it's got a lot of national attention. It's for a love of nature books. So I'm reading those at the same time. So I can't afford to look at 26. However, I do review professionally for Kirkus. And that means I'm doing a lot of 2026s. So I'm saving a lot of PDFs. I've a little document where I've written in the things already that I think are good and I'm going to want to go back to and do the write-ups for and things like that. So yes, but I don't allow myself until pretty much the first of the year, at which point all bets are off and then anything goes. Yeah.
So you're still reading in December for December list.
Oh yeah. I just read the best nonfiction book that got zero attention this year. I think it's called Ultra Wild. I don't know if you've seen it. This is the craziest darn book I have ever seen. And it is a nonfiction book. I think it comes from New Zealand. And it's it's called Ultra Wild, an audacious plan to rewild every city on Earth. It's by Steve Mushin. It's one
I haven't read it, but
New
I have
Zealand.
Seen this. Okay.
Right. And the thing is, it's like a big, doesn't fit on your shelf nonfiction book. We see a lot of those, and I kind of like sort of lump them all together. I'm like, it's another big nonfiction book that won't fit on my shelf. This one, every like New Zealand, Australian award for kids out there. It's like if you took Where's Waldo and gave it a purpose, like he comes up with, and audacious doesn't even begin to explain what we can do to rewild our cities. And there's poop cannons. I'm just going to say it. There's poop cannons and they're amazing, but he backs it up with so much science. There are so many tiny details. I'm going to be giving it to my son's in 6th grade. So I'm going to be bringing this home to give to him because it has all the like find the tiny details of Where's Waldo, but like packed with real crazy true science. And he's just like extrapolating to extremes, but it gets you excited about all this stuff. So
Ultra Wild.
Ultra Wild. I just
Ultra
finished it
Wild.
today. It is my current, and I'm so sad because I don't think I have time to review it because reviews, as I say, take a long time, and December is upon us, and I cannot do reviews in December. So, and I can't review it in 2026 because I don't do 2025 books in 2026.
Oh.
I have to keep with the current year.
Even if a book wins like Newbery that you have it reviewed, you still won't go back.
I won't do it. I better have done it before. That's on me. And there's many a fine Newbery book that I have missed. I will read it, but I won't review it. Yeah.
Do you have what percentage of the time, if you had to guess, have you read the Newbery before it's announced?
Recently, I've been doing better. I credit my coworker Brian Wilson, who is I think he read 96 middle grades this year, which is like he's not even on an ALA committee. He just does it for fun. Mm-hmm. So he really is good at like cluing me into what the true contenders are. I have done pretty well. I'm trying to think what the last one was that I definitely hadn't read, and it's been a couple years. So I think, like, I'd say 9 times out of 10 I've read the book.
9 times out of 10.
Whether I thought it should win or not is a completely different calculation.
Because you had read Free Water, right? If I remember correctly.
Oh yeah, I read Free Water. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I read that one. That was one I did not predict. That is true.
What's it like when you write a review that maybe is about not the most positive review?
Yeah, so
because I remember I felt like you used to really do those like once a year, and I could still remember so the one that pops into my head is A Mighty Miss Malone.
Oh, I did not like that, and I still don't like that.
And I remember
that was a weird, odd misfire for him. Yeah, he's never called me out on it. But
I remember the. I
didn't care for that.
I don't know if people would respond. I don't know if people would respond today, like we used to respond.
I don't know either because I haven't. So I have a rule that I try to follow, which is if it's your debut, I don't do a critical review.
Nice. You're so nice.
Well, I broke it once, and I thought it would be safe to break it, and it turned out it was not. It was let me just say, it was number 8 on Amazon out of all the books in the entire world. Okay. And I did a blistering takedown of it, and the creators did not take it well. And they're number 8 on Amazon out of all the books in the world. And this one dinky person is like, I have some problems with your book. And yeah, so I actually haven't done many lately. I will do it if I feel personally offended in some way, but I don't want to do it to a first timer unless they're like number 8 on Amazon. Even that blows up in my face. So it just doesn't seem like a good idea, and it hurts people's feelings. Critical reviews are rare. I was shocked when I used to review for the New York Times to discover that they'd send me something and be like, great, I'm going to be a little critical. And they'd be like, oh, well, don't do it then. And I'd be like, okay. Hornbook only does positive. That's why I review for Kirkus. So Kirkus don't mind. Kirkus don't care. But yeah, I haven't recently. I think reviews, that's not necessarily true. I don't know. Sometimes it really takes a lot of thought. It's like I have to psychologically psych myself up for like, okay, when they come for me, I have to be ready. But I don't know. Nothing has. That's not
offended
true.
You.
There've been a couple actually that have, but because what happens is I end up with like the Newbery and Caldecott's are going to be announced, right? And this year live in Chicago, and I get to go. I'm so excited, and I have like the ones I really want, and then I have my villains. And my villains are perfectly fine books, but they're the books I don't want to win. And so I spend the whole time being like, oh, is it going to be the villain or the one I want? And sometimes it's the villain, and sometimes it's the one I want. And then sometimes it's one I hadn't even thought about. And I'm like, oh, sure. That was sort of this last year's with the Newbery winner, The First State of Being. I was like, oh, sure. That's fine. Yeah, perfectly nice book. Yeah, okay. 2 thumbs up. Science fiction. Yay. But
Do you
yeah.
do you have any other rules? I like this. I try not to trash debut. What do you have any other rules? Blogging
Oh
rules
yeah. I
for the
think I
new
do.
bloggers out there?
Oh sure. Well, it's tricky if they reach out to you. They're told not to. They do, especially if they're new. And then some of them feel really awkward about it, and some of them don't feel awkward at all, which is fine. Um, if they call you out, so I've never been like called out by name on like a TikTok video or something. That's
Mm-hmm.
just a matter of time if I go back to doing more critical ones. But yeah, I mean, things get forgotten. I mean, yes, they live on the internet forever, but they also kind of get forgotten. There's really only one creator who, if I were to find myself at a table, I'd be kind of like, can I sit at a different table? I don't think they like me. Like, there's one person, but beyond that, people tend to forget. And then, like, if they do a book you don't like, they might do a book you really like. So if I do a critical review, I do pay more attention to their other books in the
Oh,
hope that I
that's
can do
nice.
this book I really do like, because I think it really works well. Christopher Paul Curtis is a good example of that. Mighty Miss Malone didn't do it for me, but everything he's done since I love.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What do you think about the future of blogging?
Oh, I don't know. Okay, honestly, I do have an opinion. So Substacks. I'm like, yeah, what if I never had an opinion? Come on, Betsy, cute. So Substacks have sort of filled the same void, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like blogging, but you get paid on a subscription basis, or you don't. Depends on who you are. It can be free, they cannot be free. I have a Substack. My Substack is just a Trojan horse to lead people to my blog. So I'll be like, here's a little taste, and here's the link. Please follow to my blog, because that's where my ad revenue is. I don't charge anyone for Substack. In the event that someday SLJ is like, why are we paying you? And I'd be like, I don't know. And then they get rid of me. I guess I could then turn it into the Substack. The Substack will never quite be what the blog is, but it might be nice. For blogging,
I actually don't think that's true.
Yeah.
I think
which part?
that the Substack could never be like what the blog is.
Maybe. I don't know. It would take more effort on my part, and I'm lazy.
Yeah.
So
It says
I got other things to do.
31 posts in 31 days.
Right, but that's where my energy. I enjoy that.
Yeah.
I don't really like the promotion.
I'm really curious. So I'm really curious about. I mean, I'll just say I would love to know how much money John Clausen and Mac Barnett make with their Substack.
I wonder because it's like what, $5 every month or every 2 months, something like that.
I don't know, but I subscribe, but I'm not a paid subscriber, which I should.
I'm a paid subscriber. It's like the only one of two that I pay for because it's good history.
And they do a really good job of. Mac is really smart on that kind of stuff. Maybe John is too, but that feels like a Mac thing.
No, Mac's smart.
Like they know where to put like the pay line.
Yeah, they do. That's how you do it.
They really get it. So
I subscribe to Notes on Illustration that way, where I don't pay, and it'll get to the line at that point, and I'll be like, but I learned a lot anyway. So moving on.
Yeah.
So I am cheap, but there are 2 Substacks I do pay for.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Well, I just like them. I just learn a bunch from them. But then it also forces me to read them because other Substacks I subscribe to, I'm like, oh, I don't have time. But then I'm like, oh crap, I'm paying for that. I probably should read that one. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But for the future of like, I feel like blogging, I just feel like it's going to be subsumed into Substacks. I mean, it's basically the same thing. Mm-hmm. So except it can be sent directly to your people's inboxes, which blogging never was. And that's the real advantage, I think, of Substacks.
Do you enjoy blogging more or doing your podcast more?
I think I like blogging more because it kind of feels like I've integrated into my life for so long. And even though I've been doing the podcast for, God almighty, what is it, 5, 6, 7 years? It's still, I have to go to her house. I have to physically get up and get the book from the library and then get in the car and drive to her house and then record. And then I got to drive back to my house and then return the book after taking pictures of the book. It's a lot of work. I like doing it. I enjoy it very much, but I do like blogging more, I think, because I don't have to move. I can just sit in my seat and do my blog and I'm good. I don't have to drive anywhere.
Yeah. So are there any books that have come out, like, let's say between like 8 and 15 years ago that you think have changed children's literature?
Ooh.
We're just all over the place. It's just like all these things I've always wanted to ask you. I'm just throwing it in here in these last few minutes. So you know, those years, 8 and 15 years don't have to, like, for example, like Smile changed everything.
Yeah, 100%.
Smile changed
Smile introduced
everything.
the graphic novel memoir, which then just, who knew that would be a thing? That's what I really enjoy, is when a thing blows up and everyone goes, what? Like butt or face? Who knew the butt or face books? I mean, you'd think they'd be popular, but they're actually pretty good at the same time and not bad nonfiction, but they didn't change the culture. I mean, it's the big guys to a certain extent. It's
Wimpy
Smile.
Kid. Yeah.
Wimpy Kid. I was going to say Wimpy Kid. So Wimpy Kid, to a certain extent, changed everything, partly because of the design. It was really funny, but also like the design of the book was so integral to its success. I feel like it just looked like quality. I can't describe it. It was that notebook novel. I'm a graphic novel, sort of, but I'm also text. So your parents can't really object that you're only reading graphic novels, because I've also got a fair amount of text in there. So I always kind of figured it was like a gateway drug to prose. If you're worried that your kid is doing too many graphic novels, which you shouldn't, because graphic novels are awesome. But if you are, you can say, hey, but Wimpy Kid will transition them. Now, or they can be like my son and just continually read Wimpy Kids. But no, he reads other stuff too. But he still loves, he's in what, 6th grade, and he still loves his Wimpy Kids. Yeah. Even though he started them back in like 3rd and 4th grade. So.
Or he could just read nothing.
Or he could just read nothing.
Is that what we want? It's interesting too, because like with Wimpy Kid, like if Abrams doesn't publish Wimpy Kid, then there's no Origami Yoda, right? Like a book like that doesn't exist without a book like Wimpy Kid. That's interesting.
Yeah, didn't Origami Yoda come out before Wimpy? No, you're right. It didn't. You're right. It didn't. Yeah. Because I remember when the kids first would come in and be like, what else do you have like Wimpy Kid? Origami Yoda was the thing that we would pull off the shelves. That's right. But other things that, like, it would be interesting to like look at books that have had a huge outside influence, but that parents don't necessarily, and maybe the industry doesn't necessarily notice. Because I do feel like, kind of like how kids have their own little like language on the playground and everything, like they do have their books that are popular, but fly just a little below the, like there's regional books. Okay. Like I remember, when I was a kid, all the kids on my block suddenly got obsessed with old 1960s paperbacks of Trixie Belden. Why? Okay. Who knows? But we just would trade them back and forth because one of us like had a stock of them. And they weren't even in print, I think, at that point. But we were just all obsessed with like Trixie Belden. Screw Nancy Drew. We love Trixie Belden. And so I feel like you get pockets of kids obsessed with certain types of books around the country, but it's so regional, you wouldn't necessarily know like what, like this pocket. I mean, a lot of kids are into Nathan Hale's Hazardous Tales, which I do feel like should create a larger movement than it does for more fun nonfiction. If anything, nonfiction's been kind of fascinating to watch because there's such a dichotomy between adults like us who grew up with, let's be frank, terrible children's nonfiction, or at least disappointing. And then we have kids and we remember nonfiction that way. So people who work in bookstores and people who work in libraries don't necessarily front face it, but the kids are getting such like killer good nonfiction these days. Like all apart from, Nathan Hale's Hazardous Tales, like they're getting like, Nicholas Day, they're getting like really good, like, nonfiction. And we're just not set up for that. Partly because we're English majors and we like fiction. That's what we like.
Think about a series like who would win? Like how many of kids have just read all of those books 100 times?
Right.
It's just wild.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's a good idea. And, Alan Gratz, I would credit a lot of his success to the nonfiction elements. I mean, he's got the occasional like, the trees are exploding and I have to drive away from them. But most of them are like historically like set. The Who Was series was a huge hit. Nobody saw that one coming. Like it's, and every time it happens, like people seem surprised, like, whoa.
Yeah.
Can't seem to like nonfiction sometimes.
And are Alan Gratz readers prepared for Alan Gratz because they read I Survived?
100%, which is
Yeah.
like Alan did a very clever thing where he was like, well, let's see.
All
Kids
these
really like
readers need
action.
something. Yeah.
They need
That's
something
so
a little,
interesting.
a little bulkier, a little more of a plot. Let's do that. Smart man.
So I guess the last question I always ask when we're talking about someone's book, I say, what is your hope for the book? So as we head into December and more years of a Fuse 8 production, like if people are finding it for the first time, or if you have people who have been reading it for decades, I guess we could say now,
Decades.
what is your
Yeah.
hope? What is your hope for your blog?
For my blog, I hope it stays pertinent. It's very keyed into my job. If my job were to change, and I'm not saying it's changing tomorrow, but if my job were to change, it would have a ripple effect on other things. What's so nice about my job is that I work with other people who are very invested in children's books and who can disagree with me. And if I were to leave or have some sort of occupation where I didn't have interaction with other people with book opinions, and it was just my opinion, that's where you get into that swirling whirlpool of like just your own opinion, and then it suffers as a result. The whole reason the blog works, if it works at all, is because I am getting other opinions on things. Like I just mentioned, like, a teacher in Nomadland, I was all like, yeah, and then I heard like a couple people be like, but, and I'm like, oh, I haven't thought about that. So I hope it just stays. Yeah, I don't know. I hope it keeps going. I like it. I intend to do it for another, oh God, how many years? Yeah, 20 years. Sure, why not? But I'll stop doing it when it's not fun anymore, is what I usually say.